Spoiler alert, Bowser's back in Super Mario 3D World and he's up to his usual tricks, kidnapping the princess once again. Wait just a second. Yo Bowser, that's not Princess Peach. Yeah, it is a princess, but not the princess. Okay, so Princess Peach actually gets off scot-free this time, and Bowser instead sets his sight on the inhabitants of this Brixie kingdom. Sure, the story's familiar, but it's not too familiar, and this is a theme that permeates the entirety of Super Mario 3D World. Although it does seem extremely similar to Super Mario 3D Land on the surface, if you dig just a little deeper, you'll quickly discover that there's a lot more to it than just being a simple expansion pack. Now at its core, the game is actually extremely similar to Super Mario 3D Land, and yet it feels like the game's trying to defy that obvious comparison at almost every turn. And little else represents that change better than the brand new cat power-up, which completely changes how your character controls and feels, most notably by allowing them to climb up walls. And the game takes full advantage of its unique playstyle, providing all kinds of surfaces for you to scamper up. The Catsuit is simply a joy to use, turning almost every level into a makeshift playground. It really does make the exploration feel more open and, for lack of a better word, frictionless. And that same feeling comes through in the form of another new addition called Clear Pipes, which literally are frictionless. They effortlessly transport you between locations like warp pipes, but actually give you some control along the way, allowing you to choose which way to go at an intersection to find secrets, avoid enemies, or choose the proper exit. And even normal enemies can make use of them too, with Goombas effortlessly traveling around, or Fire Brothers using them to snipe at you from a distance. It's all really cool, and they're a lot of fun to use. When you think about it, Super Mario 3D World provides more options than ever in how you get around, and this is made quite evident by the fact that there are now 4 characters for you to choose from that all handle quite differently. Luigi can jump the highest, Peach can float over gaps, Toad is the fastest of the bunch, while Mario's a jack of all trades. It's a lot of fun to switch between the characters, particularly when you replay levels looking for secrets or trying to get a faster completion time. But there is one downside. You can only change your character before entering a level instead of after every death, which kinda takes away from the fact that it's an option at all. I mean, it almost completely undermines the fact that certain characters are better for specific situations. It's silly that the game essentially locks you into your first choice every level. There were several points that I kept dying at, and I would have loved to have been able to switch characters before retrying, a la Super Mario Bros. 2. But the only way to do so is to quit out of the level and then reselect it, which takes far longer than it should and also wipes out your checkpoint progress. It's not a huge deal, but it's baffling to me how this feature wasn't included. Now beyond the additions we've already mentioned, Super Mario 3D World is filled to the brim with creative ideas that you'll find sprinkled throughout every level. Whether it's riding a sea serpent through rough waters or creating a clone army that's a ton of fun to use, you'll encounter new ideas all the time. In one especially memorable stage, you'll explore a Japanese-style temple while using the gamepad's touchscreen to slide open doors. There's even an entire level themed to the original Super Mario Kart, complete with the original music. In fact, there were almost too many ideas here, as there were several gameplay mechanics I would have loved to have seen more of, such as the shadow-based gameplay of Shadow Play Alley. But as is, all of these gameplay mechanics end up making almost every level feel entirely distinct and memorable. And adding to that is the game's brilliant soundtrack, which like the gameplay is familiar and yet still very much its own thing, offering some unusual musical styles for a Mario game. Just check out this boss music. Pretty great, isn't it? And it doesn't hurt that the game's quite good looking too, even if there's nothing here that'll blow minds. So in case it isn't clear, Super Mario 3D World does a ton of things right, but I do have a couple of small complaints. For one, I'm still not a huge fan of the sticky 8-way directional movement that first appeared in Super Mario 3D Land. Although I can appreciate its benefit for those new to this series, it actually lent the game a slight feeling of imprecision to me. And this also applies to the odd tiered running system that the game also shares with 3D Land, where you'll get a sudden burst of speed after running for a few seconds. There were several points where the boost would come at just the wrong time, throwing off a jump, whereas at other times I had to run around in circles simply to maintain my top speed. Another slight downfall is the camera perspective, which of course is also listed from Super Mario 3D Land. But without the aid of the stereoscopic 3D screen this time, I actually did have some trouble gauging depth at points. Which is especially surprising considering Mario Galaxy's more dynamic camera largely resolved this issue years ago. And with that said, it's perhaps only when compared to the high pedigree of Mario Galaxy that the game could possibly feel lacking. And I really do mean that as a compliment. Super Mario 3D World offers a breadth of gameplay that we haven't seen outside of the Galaxy series in years. And tons of it too, with over 80 levels that all feel largely unique. And it even introduces several elements that I truly hope become series staples, including the catsuit and clear pipes. Oh, and the free roaming 3D map is pretty cool too. Super Mario 3D World really puts the new Super Mario Bros. Series to shame in terms of its variety, memorability, and just sheer fun. And that even applies to the game's 4-player co-op mode, as it is one of the best cooperative multiplayer experiences I've had in recent years. Whereas I sometimes found playing with others to be a nuisance in New Super Mario Bros. Due to the limited amount of room you had to maneuver, the expanded 3D world of 3D World makes this a non-issue. Plus it's just a blast to scamper around looking for secrets while your friends go off and do their own thing. All in all, Super Mario 3D World is one of the best Mario games of recent years. Although it is superficially similar to Super Mario 3D Land in many ways, it betters it in almost every way, offering a newfound sense of freedom and creativity. Plus the Catsuit might very well be my new favorite power-up. Now, although Super Mario 3D World never quite delivers the incredible peaks that both of the Super Mario Galaxies have, it offers a consistently entertaining and imaginative experience that's at least as fun, if not more so, with friends, which is why I'm giving both a single player and multiplayer 4.5 stars out of 5. Thanks for watching, and make sure to stay tuned to GameXplain.com for lots more on Super Mario 3D World and other things gaming too.